Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips, and today we are in Taormina, Sicily. Our ship pulled into Messina about 12 or 12:30 this afternoon, and we are going to sail away at 8 p.m. So all aboard is at 7:30, and we just had an excursion that brought us over here and walked us around town, telling us some things about the city or the town, and then we have free time here. So we used our free time to just look in some shops, go in the church, go look at the overlooks everywhere to see the beautiful views, see the beautiful gardens, and then we just had a yummy lunch/dinner. I had lasagna, Gordon had spaghetti with clams, so if you haven't been on our Facebook group yet, he keeps posting pictures, so it's just Let's Go Travel Tips on Facebook. But this is just a very famous view, and it's rather crowded, so we will walk over and show that to you, and Gordon is going to go in a circle right here and show you everything here that is in the square. So it is just absolutely so very beautiful here. It's just really these days more of a resort town. Just a lot of shops, a lot of old churches, a lot of restaurants, a lot of gelato places where you can get your cannoli if it's more than one. It's just absolutely wonderful. So just wanted to give you a taste for what it's like here. And then, so we'll just go ahead and walk over and show you the view.
Here, you take it and I'll take this.
Let's see here. Let's show you here. This is just so famous here. You see it in all of the photos when you think of Sicily, the coastline here. Isn't that so beautiful? And over in the distance there, that is Mount Etna, and I'll zoom in here as we end. They have a new crater, our tour guide was telling us, so she said it's always changing how it looks. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today we have got COVID health protocol updates on the Princess website, as well as some updates from Norwegian and some other onboard updates that I'm going to tell you about, as well as Royal Caribbean has done something that I think is amazing for passengers. So first of all, I'd like to welcome all of our Let's Go family members, and also welcome to all of you who are new. We love to have everybody join us no matter what cruise line you sail on, even if you don't cruise and you just like to think about it or find out about it or join us in any of our travels. We are really happy to have you here. I feel like the larger our community gets, the more input everyone will have to help each other out, so that we will all have richer and smoother travel experiences, as well as just happier lives overall. So first of all, today I would like to talk and just let you know about what the COVID health protocol updates are on the Princess website. The updates that they have issued, and if you're not familiar with this, on the Princess website, they divide it into sailings from the US and Canada, sailings from the United Kingdom, sailings from Europe, and then sailings from Australia. And the updates that we have got are from the United Kingdom and for Europe, and they are the same. They are covering the same thing. The main thing is they are talking about boosters again. So here's what you need to know. First of all, remember that if you are going to sail, you need to have had the last dose of your COVID vaccine within 9 months or 270 days. If it has been longer than that, you need to have a booster. If you don't have a booster, you have to have an exemption if you are 18 years old or older. They are clarifying that if people are 17 years old or younger, they are not required to have a booster. As long as they were vaccinated, they don't have to have an exemption, but they do not have to have a booster if they're 17 years old or younger. And they also reminded everyone that if children are under the age of 5, they don't have to have an exemption because there's not a vaccine available for them. And so that is everything they covered. And then they very specifically said that no one is required to have the second booster yet. I know just from reading the research that I do and having the opportunity to visit with some people here on the ship that we've had the chance to get to meet, different countries around the world have different boosters available, different vaccines, and what age groups they are allowing to have them so far. And so far the cruise lines are not requiring anyone to have their second booster. And so you don't have to worry about that. Now, so that is everything that is new with Princess. And let me remind you that I know that Carnival just recently did a clarification, but for quite a while now we have had the rule that if you are sailing out of the US and you are fully vaccinated and you've got your booster, you can do your test within 3 days. If you are just fully vaccinated but no booster, you need to have your you need to have your test within 2 days. So if you're vaccinated, no booster, get that antigen test within 2 days. If you are vaccinated and you have a booster, you get to have 3 days to get that antigen test done. And if you are getting a PCR test because that's your choice, or because you're not vaccinated and have an exemption to be on this ship, then you get 3 days for the PCR test. Now, if you are sailing from the United Kingdom or from Europe, whether or not you are just only vaccinated, or if you're vaccinated and have a booster, you get 3 days to do your test. The only exemption is if you're sailing from Greece, and it needs to be within 1 day for antigen tests or for PCR tests for everybody. I did talk to some people that embarked on the ship in Athens, and some of them had already got their test beforehand, and embarkation went really smoothly. The ones that needed to have their testing done at the port said that there were really long lines. And so just keep that in mind. If you're going to be sailing out of Athens, you might want to go ahead and get your test done before you get to the port. And I noticed that just when we were walking around Athens when we were there, and we were right in the center of the city there by the Acropolis and right in that touristy area, there were several pharmacies and they had signs outside that said that they do COVID tests. And then we also had the opportunity to talk to a couple of Let's Go family members, and they said that the hotel that they stayed at in Athens helped organize testing for them as well. And so I just wanted you to know that there are lots of wonderful options to be able to get that done. Now, the next update that I've got for you, I want to make sure that everybody knows that Norwegian has just made a few updates, and it's really interesting on the Princess website. And if you look at the protocols for Holland America and for Royal Caribbean, they all say until further notice. They don't put a deadline on it. I know for a while Royal Caribbean was doing that on some of their protocols, but I just checked and there's not a end date yet. And so this is what's really interesting about Norwegian. They say that effective from July 1st until July 31st for vaccinations, and here is their list of booster requirements. So if you are sailing on a North American itinerary, there are no booster requirements. If you are sailing in Northern Europe and a Baltic itinerary, there are no booster requirements. But if your itineraries include Mediterranean ports, France, French Polynesia, and certain other countries, they say all guests who are 18 or older have to have a booster if it's been more than 9 months since their primary COVID vaccination. The other information they have got is that from July 1st, at least through July 31st, they are allowing people who have had COVID to not have to do their test at embarkation, and it cannot be longer than 90 days ago that you had COVID. and it has to be at least 10 days since you had COVID. That's the window, from 10 to 90 days. And when you come to check in at embarkation, you just need to bring with you a copy of the positive test done by a lab, basically the same kind of test as we have to show at embarkation. It has to be verified by a lab. You just can't go to the pharmacy, get a test and do it and bring them and show that, if that makes sense. Or if you are in the EU, you can bring along what they would call their EU Green Pass or a comparable certificate. Those would also work just fine. Now at Debarkation, this is really big news, and they are following suit with the other cruise lines on this. Norwegian is saying that at Debarkation, if you need to have a COVID test in order to return to your home country, and this starts June 12th, sorry, I should have said that right off, starting on June 12th, this coming Sunday, if you need a COVID test to return to your home country, you're going to be responsible for that. They are not going to do that testing. So they remind people that you can go ahead and buy the tests that you do with a telemedicine video call, or you can line up testing at another location. And so as I was thinking about this, I just wanted to remind everybody that if you are like sailing out of Fort Lauderdale or Miami, I know that those airports have testing, as well as there's lots of other places. I'm familiar with Lab Doctor in Fort Lauderdale. That is cheaper than the airport, but so there's some options really to get your testing done, as well as in Seattle, at the Seattle airport, at the Vancouver airport, there are testing sites there. And then over here there's COVID testing at Heathrow in London. There is at the Rome airport, the Barcelona airport, the Athens airport. Athens airport's 24/7, I know that for sure, and Copenhagen airport. All of these airports have testing, and so if you are somewhere on a cruise, hopefully it won't be too hard for you to get a test if you don't want to do the eMed test that you do at home. And that's just Abbott Laboratories. I should say that we ordered ours from eMed. They it's about $150 for 6, so I guess it's about $25 each, and then they make you pay $20-something for overnight shipping, and you really do get them really quick. But order those in advance, because every once in a while they get really busy and the shipping takes longer. So that is everything for the COVID health protocol updates. I wanted to let you all know that we have heard from people on the Grand Princess over on our Facebook group. A Let's Go family member posted that on the Grand Princess there was a little bit of plumbing trouble, that a few toilets weren't flushing right. But then they have also posted that that has been resolved now. So hopefully that's done. Everybody is saying that everything else is going really smoothly on the Grand Princess. We're hearing great things from, right now the Royal Princess is one of the ships that is requiring masks, and a Let's Go family member let us know that people are doing really well following that protocol on the ship, and that things are going really well on the Royal Princess and also the Discovery Princess. Everything seems to be going really well on that ship. And so, sorry, you're gonna have to cut this out. All of a sudden my eye.
That's okay.
Alrighty. Okay. So with everything going really well on those ships, it brings us to the topic of the land tours. Now we knew that Princess had to cancel some of their land tours. I read about it, as well as I found out about it first from our Let's Go family members who are so kind to send me emails and let me know what's going on. But Holland America has also announced that they have to cancel some reservations for select Denali and Yukon itineraries during nights when it's at the peak guest numbers at the lodges. And so I haven't heard from anybody yet about their land tour being canceled through Holland America. So if any of you have had that experience, would you please just let us know? They offered that if you have to have yours canceled, they are going to give you 100% refund, and then a 100% future cruise credit, as well as an additional $200 onboard credit. And so they announced also that, like Princess, it is due to staffing shortages. They just don't have enough people to work and take good care of everybody to the level that people are accustomed to be taken care of. And so I hope that they don't have to cancel very many of these. The other thing that is really interesting about the Princess cancellations that they're for their land tours is I have heard of a couple of people mentioning that they had been scheduled to be at that Copper River Wilderness Lodge that is going to have to be closed due to staff shortages, but they have been able to be accommodated over at the Kenai Lodge. And so if any of you have had that experience or have heard any more, let us know what's going on with it. And I would also really like to hear from all of you that were trying to decide what you were going to do, if you're going to go ahead and go on the cruise portion or just what's going on. I would really like to hear from you and just have a good idea of what's going on. The other thing that I wanted to mention really quickly here, and it's just the explorer side of me, I know that we are planning that group cruise to Antarctica in January 20th to February 5th of 2024. And so did you guys know that now they are going to be able to take people to the North Pole? They are Ponant Cruise Line. They have the Le Commandant Charcot, C-H-A-R-C-O-T, and they are going to take people to the geographic North Pole. They say they have to carve through the ice for 4 days to get you up there, and then while you're there, you're going to have options to go on zodiacs, to go on kayaks, do snowshoeing, go out on foot, and do ice fishing, just all of these wonderful, exciting things. And they are very expensive. They start at $35,960 per person, so that's not really in my budget, but I sure like to dream, and I thought maybe some of you would like to dream along with me, or maybe you could go if you would like, and you'll have to tell the rest of us all about it. But I thought that it was so exciting that they are able to do that, and I just wanted to let you know it's an option if that's something that you would like to do. I also wanted to make sure everyone knows that Royal Caribbean has made a really huge announcement this week. As you may be aware, when the cruise shutdown happened, they, along with all the other cruise lines, had to cancel all of the cruises. And then it happened a number of times throughout the time that we were all hoping that cruising would start again. And every time they did that, you know, you would have the offer that you could get your money refunded, or you could go ahead and leave your money with them as a future cruise credit and use it down the road. And often they would offer that if you would leave your money, that you would get like a 25% future cruise credit that you could use when you were booking your next cruise. Well, as we all know, those future cruise credits have an expiration date, and you really have to keep an eye on them, because usually there is a date that you have to book your travel by, and then a date that you have to sail by and complete your travel. And so I know, just like with Princess, I have been keeping an eye on our future cruise credits so that we don't lose any. But Royal Caribbean made the huge announcement that they are going to make it so that those future cruise credits do not have an expiration date. I think that is remarkable. I think that is putting the passenger number one, and I just, hats off to you, Royal Caribbean, for doing this. I honestly think that it is a really good move, because there's a lot of people who are ready to travel now, who are ready to cruise and get out there, but there's a lot of people that don't quite feel comfortable with it yet. And this will give them the opportunity to wait until they feel comfortable with it without feeling like they're going to lose some of their money. Now be aware that with this announcement, they did say that the extra, like the bonus future cruise credits they gave, those will expire as planned. And I can see that. But your original money, those future cruise credits are not going to expire. And so I wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of that. And also I wanted to give you the reminder, keep an eye on your future cruise credits no matter what cruise line they're with, so that you don't miss a date and then lose your money, because that would be, that's never good. So I hope that helps. The last thing that I want to tell everybody about is I felt really bad because we had a Let's Go family member mention that they were trying to decide what to do about their land cruise tour that would be in August of this year. And so they called up Princess and were trying to find out information, and Princess just referred them to their cruise contract and everything, and so they didn't know what to do. And so here's what I would do if it was me. Think, figure out what you want to do, kind of what your preference would be. And if you want to cancel your cruise, I would call Princess up and say, here's, this is my booking number. Have them look at it with you and say, if I cancel this cruise, what am I going to get back? How much am I getting back as money? How much am I getting back as future cruise credit? And is there any that I'm going to lose out on? And so then you will know what to do, because Princess has got that Book with Confidence program that anything that was booked by May 31st and is the sales by or the land tour is by September 30th. As long as you cancel more than 30 days out, then you get whatever portion would be a refund refunded to you, and anything that would have been a cancellation fee they will give to you as a future cruise credit. So call and ask them to walk through that with you so that you know if you're going to lose any money or how much future cruise credit you're going to get. And so look at it that way, and then maybe that will help you make up your mind a little bit if you want to go ahead and cancel it, or if you want to keep it. If you want to keep it, you don't have to call them, but if you're really thinking you might want to cancel, just call. And you know what, sometimes you do get a lousy rap, just like with any business. That's not just Princess, that happens to me all the time in other places I call, or people that I have to work with work or other things. And so just call back again and ask, and hopefully you'll get someone who will go through that with you and look at it with you and be kind to help you. So that's kind of how I would manage it. The last thing I want to tell everybody is we said it really quick on our live tonight is we are done worrying about our tickets. I did that quick video earlier today because I just wanted to make sure that nobody else clicks on the early ticketing and accidentally gets a big fee like our Let's Go family member did. And so I wanted to make sure that you are all really clear about that. If you want to do early ticketing, don't even click on it. Call Princess and ask what the ramifications are if you do that. Okay? And so, but we're just really excited that we have tickets. I feel like it's the hand of the Lord that we do have tickets to go home. And Gordon and I have just decided maybe we will find out that we love another airline just as much as the airline that we usually fly. And it will be just fine. And so we're not going to even go down and ask them at customer service if they found anything out again. We're just not going to worry about it anymore. And we are thoroughly enjoying our trip. We have had just the most wonderful cruise. We still have our sea day tomorrow, and then we get off on Saturday in Barcelona. But we have really had an extraordinary time, and I would do it all again in a heartbeat, and there's nothing I would change. And so I just wanted to let you all know that, and I hope that all of you are doing really well. Thanks so much for sticking with us. If you appreciate these updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up, and would love it if you would subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.